it's Wendy Joe from Roadie, and I'm bummed to not be able to make it live, but I'm excited that Katie Key has asked me to tape this. So I will tell you I'm not a professional videographer, so bear with me. But my side of things is the nutrition component of fueling musicians on the road. And I always say, as a sports dietitian, I always say it's kind of like fueling the athlete in every musician. And I know before you were to laugh and shake your head saying, oh, musicians aren't athletes, I beg to differ. I actually did my thesis on the nutrition demands of musicians, and a lot of the things that I found were the same type of musculoskeletal issues that occur with my athletes, as well as eating on the road, performing all night, some of the logistics of what you guys are possibly deficient in, just given the hours that you work and the types of foods that you take in on the road. So my goal is to help you a little bit today with some different ideas of snack foods, breakfast foods, and things that you can take on the road or even eat on the road. Hence why I have a coffee pot over here. So no, I'm not saying you have to drink coffee, but it sure is better than a Monster. But before I get started, I really just want to encourage each of you to open your minds to this idea that food can fuel and heal. A lot of the behaviors that are on the road can definitely lead to some deficiencies or perhaps munching on the wrong things. So I'm here to help you with that. And we're going to start first with breakfast. So one of the things that I talk a lot about on my website, and if you've caught any of the videos and stuff that I've done, are mason jars. Mason jars are really durable. So because of that, these are great and easy to take on the road. Plus, all the lids are the same, so they match, so it's easy to swap lids, and you're not going to lose anything, and they're cheap. Go to H-E-B and grab a bunch. You can get a whole 12-pack of them for like, I don't know, 12 bucks. So it's like $1 a jar, super easy. But they are dishwasher safe, oven safe, and microwave safe. So I'm going to start off with a breakfast parfait because I think you can make a bunch of these on the road. I'm using frozen blueberries. So blueberries are really high in antioxidants that I talk a lot about on the road, why you need those, and there's a lot more information on that. But I definitely think that blueberries or raspberries or blackberries are all great. If you can see the next thing that I'm adding in, it's the yogurt. See how thick it is? This is Greek yogurt. And the reason I use Greek yogurt is it's higher in protein, has less water weight. And if most of the Greek yogurt isn't as tasty to you, try a whole fat version. Yes, I'm not fat phobic. I actually like fattier foods because they are more nourishing in the sense of satiation, so they'll fill you up a little bit better. But a smaller amount can go very far. So I'm using a whole fat Greek yogurt, and then I made some granola, and so I'm just going to add in granola for the top. And you can press this in, really simple, close it up. Now you have a yogurt parfait on the road. Super simple to take with you. The other thing is, oatmeal is really popular in the sense of it's something that a lot of people have readily available, and it's cheap. You can buy it in bulk at Central Market or H-E-B, just the oats itself. And making this on the road is super simple. If you have access to hot boiling water, which means if you have access to a drive-through, every single drive-through has hot boiling water on one of their taps. So it's how they clean a lot of things. So you can actually just ask them to fill up a cup or a mason jar for you and add it to your raw oats. Not the steel cut, just the flat oats, just because the pressed oats are simpler in the sense that they'll reconstitute quicker. But if you want something creamy added to it, a little bit more mouthfeel, of course you can add to your sugar, but also just think about nut butter. So bananas, nut butter, apple, nut butter, any kind of fruit, just will add that little extra texture, or even just handfuls of raw nuts. I like almond butter, a tablespoon or two of almond butter into my oats. It is really creamy and tasty, and it has a really good mouthfeel. I may grate an apple into it as well. But all of these are really accessible and easy and cheap for those of you guys eating on the road. And like I mentioned too, I make a lot of granola at home just because it's cheaper if you make it at home. So for instance, this jar of granola right here cost me about $2. If I were to have bought this jar full of the nuts as well as the berries that I use in this, so I used wild blueberries as well as tart cherries, if I were to have purchased this, it probably would have cost me at least $5 or $6 without even, getting everything that I wanted in it. So, that's an easy thing to make at home if you're on more of a budget. And like I said, it's also great for dessert when you pair it with something so rich and creamy. So next up, we're going to talk about snacks. Okay, one of the best snack foods by far is the best fast food, which is citrus or fruit, such as apples or bananas. These are all really cheap. You can buy them in big bags. Citrus are so easy to take on the road because they're self-contained, so all you have to do is just peel them. You don't have to worry about washing them or anything. I love taking clementines. I always keep a bag of clementines in my car just so I'm ready to go and have a quick and easy snack if I want it. But of course, it's also a little bit of aromatherapy which all of you guys are missing right now. I'm so sorry. But citrus are one of the easiest things to take, as well as an apple. Apples may get bruised. Pears definitely get bruised. So be careful with taking pears. Bananas will stay better if you keep them in a refrigerator. They'll brown on the outside, but they'll stay hard and firm on the inside. So don't be fooled by that if you keep them in the refrigerator. The next thing too, containers of applesauce or jarred fruit. People always ask me, hey, what if I eat, frozen vegetables or canned fruit? Guys, pick the big things to think about versus the little things to pick on. I mean, yes, if I'm gonna be talking about organics and non-GMO, which genetically modified organism foods, totally different audience, totally different ball of wax. But if you're not already getting in the right type of nutrients, don't pick on the small amount of nutrients that you can get in. So yes, frozen is great. Like I use the frozen blueberries. Canned are great. That you have still the same kind of nutrition in this. It's just a little bit more convenient for you on the road. Applesauce, I just peel and I pop it in my mouth. And I always get the ones without the sugar added. It just makes it easier in the sense of being more health conscious. Nuts are the easiest thing you can possibly take on the road, and they're great. I love pistachios and I love almonds. By the handful, they're excellent for you. Eating an entire bag in a day, maybe not so great for you. So if that's your consumption, you might want to tone down on that one a little bit. The other thing is, if you haven't seen these are Justin's nut butters, and they're found in the grocery store. I've seen them at H-E-B. All you have to do is cut them open and you can squeeze it in your mouth. This is the chocolate hazelnut version, so they're Nutella. So if you want something sweet, the other thing is, if you want something sweet, I love the caramel snack packs. Yes, these are loaded with sugar and high fructose corn syrup. However, if you're craving something really sweet, why not pair it with something really good? So, an apple has a lot of nutrients in it, plus a lot of fiber, 3 grams of fiber per apple. And that's a small apple. One of these containers is great for a large apple, or even sharing this. But if you have a sweet tooth, these are easy to take on the road. So those would be kind of the foods, plus bars like Kind bars or Lara bars, just nut and fruit chew type bars, granola bars like Nature Valley, great to take on the road. I would say that the longer I go on the road, the more I get sick of dried fruit. So dried fruit, dried jerky, anything that's that consistency, I get sick of. So if you're like me, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have some fresh food on hand to outweigh some of the other stuff. So the next step is we're gonna talk about foods that you can take on the road that are easy to fit into a cooler. you guys have a handout that I made for you talking about salads in a jar with a diagram. And I really wanted to show you how simple this is and why it's great for you. One, I get going through drive-thrus. When I'm home in Texas, I love to go to Whataburger. I mean, I do, I'll admit it. But how I pair it is different. So I may get that Whataburger burger, but I may pair it with something better. And this is where, when you're on the road, you can have something like this ready and pair your burger or your chicken sandwich or whatever you get on the road with this. So this is a salad in a jar. I have on the bottom, well, this is my kale Caesar salad. So I have on the bottom Caesar salad dressing, and you can use any Caesar salad dressing you want. I use the Trader Joe's brand, but you can also use Paul Newman's own. That's a great one as well. Then I put my hearty vegetables. So heartier vegetables would be like cucumbers and celery and carrots and bell peppers. So for this one I did celery, grated carrots, and then I put Parmesan cheese because I like Parmesan cheese in mine as well. The next thing I put would be either your lettuce or whatever green you want to use. I chose kale. Kale is a hot food right now, but it has always been a hot food when it comes to nutrition. The reason is it is packed with vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, you name it. When it comes to nutrient density, it is the most dense nutrient that you can possibly get, or vegetable that you can get with the highest amount of nutrients. It's awesome. And I think a lot of people, if you don't know how to serve it or prepare it, it doesn't taste great. In this dressing, in this salad, it is awesome. I don't know what it is about pairing it with a Caesar dressing, but I've had kids like it. So you can make kale chips too, but you know, thinking about the salad. And then the last thing I put up was croutons, because I like croutons. All you have to do when you're on the road, keep it upright in a cooler, and then shake, 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 shake when you're ready for serving, or dump out onto a thing and shake it really well. But then once you're ready to serve it, dump it out next to your burger and eat it. You can make a bunch of these before you go on the road, and you'll be a lot better off feeling wise. You're going to get the fiber that you need plus the nutrients that you need. Next up, I made a tabbouleh salad. If you're not familiar with tabbouleh salad, it's a Mediterranean salad that is really dense with parsley. So the reason I chose parsley, or like a parsley type salad, is something like this will hold up for an entire week all on its own. Yes, keep it in the refrigerator, but it's really nutrient dense. You can get the packages in the grocery store that all you have to do is add water to it and then maybe add some more parsley to it to make it more dense. But this type of salad is perfect to be kept in a mason jar like this all week. So you can make a batch of it, and then every single person in your band or those of you on the road with you can have one of these. They are super packed with nutrition because I use bulgur wheat. But the cool thing about bulgur wheat doesn't have to have hot water added to it to reconstitute it. So you don't even have to have hot water. All you have to have is the citrus and olive oil and the juice from the tomatoes and cucumbers, and that itself with the parsley will reconstitute this if you make it from scratch. But like I said, you can also buy the kind where you buy it where it already has it mixed in, then you're going to have to add in the water to reconstitute those vegetables. But salads on the go or in the jar are great because I know the truth of it is you guys are all looking for dollar menus and dollar ideas of things that you can have. So something like this would be great to pair with that dollar menu item where you're not going to get as much nutrition. I'm sorry, the dollar menu item is definitely not going to give you the nutrition you want. Now I will tell you one dollar menu item that is good, which is Wendy's chili. So I recommend getting the baked potato and the Wendy's chili and pairing them together, so having the chili over the baked potato as a complete meal. That's a great, right there, it costs you $2 of a good nourishing meal. Potatoes are great, they're really high in vitamin C, but the peel is what you have to actually eat to get that. And if you have a microwave handy, poke holes in this, don't forget to poke holes. poke holes in this and throw it in the microwave for about 5 minutes, and you have a baked potato you can serve the salad on, you can serve salsa on it, you can serve cheese, butter, I don't care, but just something like this would be a great pairing to what you were already going to have anyways. And sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are also great, and you don't just have to have them sweet. They're also great with cilantro and lime and cumin as another side dish, so they're also really good with chili. So a lot of Southwestern stews are now having chunked up sweet potato in it. So don't second guess the flavor pairing. It actually works really well. And sweet potatoes are orange or white. They're not actually yams. They are all technically sweet potatoes in the sweet potato family. So it doesn't matter which color it is, but the brighter the color, the orange one is a better option when it comes to the carotenoids or the carotenes, the vitamin A's that you're going to get from it. All right, last up, we're going to talk about the coffee pot. Okay, so a coffee pot, found readily available in most hotel rooms. So if you guys as a band are traveling and staying, maybe sharing one hotel room, oftentimes you have a coffee pot found in it. This is a great way to cook up vegetables. You can actually, in the container where you have your filter, you can steam vegetables. So you can put frozen vegetables into the steamer, close it, turn it on. Mine will close. Turn it on, and it will actually steam that as the water rushes through it, and then just dump the water in the coffee pot. So that's one way to do steamed ones. You can also put your soup into the container. So mine's a little bit fancier, but you can use the glass container. Put your, say your ramen soup at the bottom of it. Put that in there. Same thing, vegetables up top, soup bottom. Start it. Now you have the broccoli water coming through, which is good because that's actually more nutrients. Then you can add this into your soup pot, and maybe even add an egg, just a raw egg. Now you can keep eggs out at room temperature for an entire week because they typically are obviously at room temperature. So you can crack an egg, put it in with your soup, and let that stir up. And now you have like an egg drop soup with ramen noodles and broccoli. So now you have your protein, your vegetable, and your noodles, and it probably costs you about 45 cents. So it just depends on how much your frozen vegetables are. The other thing that I do too is I'll find just like frozen wontons, and I'll do just with like a powder of, you can even use the ramen noodles, the base for it, or just get chicken base or chicken broth. Run that through here and add in your wontons. Now you have another soup option that you can have. And of course too, tea. Now, tea is great because it really is hydrating for your vocals. It also helps with the antioxidant content because green tea is packed with antioxidants. One of the things that I keep on the road too is ginger root. And if you've never seen ginger, I'll show you what it looks like. So it has more of a fibrous look to it. This root is really high in anti-inflammatories, but it's also really good for those of you who have any kind of aches and pains. They've done a lot of arthritis research on it. So you can add some fresh ginger, steep some tea, and then put them in a mason jar and take that with you for the road. And that's fine at room temperature, cold or hot. I will oftentimes have guys call me when they're on the road, and gals, when they're sick. So one of the big things is that I hear, oh, I'm sick, I'm feeling like I'm getting the flu, what can I have? Which is great. Definitely contact me and reach out to me in those moments. But I will tell you that eating better on the road all the time will help ward off any of those colds and illnesses that you might be getting. So it's better to be on the preventative side first and then work on the management side when you get it. And yes, when you get a cold, steeping fresh ginger or ginger tea with a little bit of lemon, very, very healing. But you've got to take in a lot of consumption. And I know for a lot of you, getting in enough fluids outside of alcohol on the road is a big thing. So you want to make sure that you are taking in enough hydrating type of liquids, not just dehydrating type of liquids. And speaking of liquids, I have, for a lot of you like flavored waters. I like this flavored water. It's called Hint Fizz. You don't have to get the fizz. You can just get the Hint water. But there's nothing added into it except for the essence of the fruit. So possibly what they did was they took the citrus peel, or they took some of the fruit oils and infused them in here. But there's no calories, and there's no artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners or sugars added to it, which is I'm a big fan of. So I like these. These are also great mixed with your favorite vodka or your favorite whiskey on the road too, if you so deem to mix something. But it is better than taking in sodas. And like I had mentioned earlier about coffee, I will definitely say hands down that I'm a much bigger fan of those of you on the road drinking coffee regularly than going for those energy drinks. The reason is I've seen athletes have what's called tachycardia, so a really rapid heart rate, because of drinking too many of those. And when you mix those with alcohol, it is a deadly business. So I am absolutely positively one of those people who does not sit in the court of being a fan of Monsters or Red Bulls or any of those types of drinks. Yes, I get that you may have sponsorship from them, so do so in moderation. You can also dump out any of those beverages and then fill it up the cans with water, so that way you're pleasing your sponsor, yet also still making sure that you're taking care of yourself. Okay, so speaking of your health, the last part that I want to talk to you about is supplements. Before I begin, I will let you know that I do not sell any supplements. As a medical practitioner and a registered dietitian, my view is that I don't want to have anybody thinking that I'm slanting my approach to somebody or encouraging you to buy a supplement because I'm gaining some type of monetary means off of that product. So you never have to worry if you ask me about a product. I will give you a straight shot answer because there's no monetary gain on my part from a supplement company. There are a couple things that I really think are good products that I think you should try. So fish oils are a big thing that I usually put a lot of musicians on, just because due to what you do on the road, you're not really going to be eating seafood that often, unless of course you're also an avid fisherman. But really, I don't see that most of my clients in the music scene take in enough omega-3 fatty acids. If you are vegan, you can get the EPA and DHA, well, the EPA from flaxseed oil, chia seeds, etc. But if you're not a vegetarian, I would recommend getting in the fish oil. And I love Barlean's. This is their ultra high potency one, and this is their key lime flavor. And just so you know how good it is, I will take a bite of it. It tastes like key lime pie. That's actually the reason why I like the product, because I think people will taste it and know that it tastes good. We're actually going to do it. Airborne or emergency, both are kind of the same. When I travel, I definitely take either or on the road with me, and I just add them to water. If I'm flying, I will do 2 per trip, per flight, and then every day while I'm traveling. And then also vitamin D3. Most of you guys are not out when it's sunshiny day, and so because you're not getting in a lot of the natural source of vitamin D, which is from the sun, I do recommend taking a vitamin D every day. For some of my musicians, if you have insurance, I would recommend getting tested for vitamin D deficiency. And if you don't really know what your doctor's telling you, just call and ask me, because then I can give you a rundown. And then sometimes physicians don't always know also when it comes to vitamin D, and so typically then I'll make a different recommendation based on the amount that you actually need to take in. And lastly, I would recommend probiotics. So probiotics are the good bacteria found in our gut, and most of you guys don't get enough in. And we know that for traveling athletes, when they're on the road, if we give them a probiotic supplement, it will ward off their chances of getting a flu bug or some type of cold. So why not the same idea hold true for musicians who are also equally on the road, if not more? So probiotics, fish oils, vitamin D3, and then some type of emergency or airborne when you're on the road as well. These are the biggies. These are the ones that I find most common. There are some other things that I recommend for those who are dealing with depression, common amongst songwriters, or any type of alcohol abuse. There's a protocol that I follow for that. So again, supplements are a good thing to supplement the diet. They should not replace the diet. And that's where I come in this sense of encouraging you guys to eat better, feel better, and play better on the road by doing the things that are better for you, which starts definitely in the kitchen. So from my kitchen to yours, I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'm hoping I didn't put anybody to sleep. At least you didn't have any of the aromas right after lunch, or maybe they're still lingering in the air. But I'm sad to have not been able to join you, but again, virtually, I'm here with you guys in spirit. So if you have any questions, check me out at justwendyjoe.com, and my email address is justwendyjoe@gmail.com, and then I have a ton of information for roadies on my website. If you just get onto my blog and search roadies, you'll find ample information to kind of start you in a right direction. So hope you have a wonderful day and be well on the road, and I guess I will look forward to seeing each and every one of you out there on the road playing. Bye-bye.